absolutely, West Ham are just shit. Like, fuck me. Take your fairy liquid and shove it. Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday afternoon. Hope you've all had a good day. Hope you had all a great weekend in the first weekend of February 2024. And I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of your day and the rest of your Sunday evening as well. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on at all times as well to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2024 on the channel, on the community for brand new videos, shorts, live streams, more brand new games, more brand new gaming content, and obviously the free giveaway will be happening this week. Obviously now we are now at that 4 magical digit number of 1,000 subs on the channel and on the community, and I can't thank you all enough for the support you have shown me. Welcome to the Premier League final score on this Sunday evening. Manchester United 3, West Ham United 0 at Old Trafford on match day 23 of the 23-24 Premier League season at Old Trafford. Manchester United absolutely blowing West Ham's bubbles away. West Ham, I'm sorry, are a really, really crap team under David Moyes. I mean, I can't believe how many people get excited under a team that is being managed by David Moyes. Like, the football today from West Ham's point of view is just absolutely shocking. Going forward, they've got no firepower. Defensively, at the back, they are at 6s and 7s. And obviously the goalkeeping department as well isn't very good as well when you've lost Aurelio in the second half and you've had to put on Lucas Fabianski, the ex-Arsenal reject, and you don't think things can get worse from a West Ham United fan point of view. But Manchester United, for me, are very, very lucky that they've won 3-0 today. Obviously, yet again, Rasmus Højlund has sat down a lot more haters, a lot more doubters, and he is silencing the critics. I mean, that is now 4 goals in 4 games for Rasmus Højlund now, back-to-back, obviously on his 21st birthday as well, which obviously got Manchester United the lead early on in this Premier League fixture today. And obviously, I'm very, very happy with Rasmus Højlund now. I think for me, we are starting to see the goals that, we brought the striker in. I think you can see why United paid the money they paid for him. And I think for me, it is now money paid off, because I think going forward, I think he's terrific for Manchester United. I think his body strength is fantastic. And I think his aerial ability is even more, commendable as well. I think his hold-up play, he's probably one of the best players at Manchester United currently. But I think, today's headline is that Alejandro Garnacho is at the double for Manchester United today. And I think for me, obviously, his 2 goals has obviously helped put Manchester United to the 3-0 win today with his 2 goals in the second half. And I think for me, today we saw the very best of Garnacho in the second half, what damage he can do on the back 4 of an opposition team. That West Ham back 4 of, Zuma, Emerson, Agard, I mean, it's absolutely crap, isn't it? I think, that West Ham team, defensively, they are at 6s and 7s, and they simply could not cope with the pressure Manchester United were putting them under. Like, they honestly could not cope. But I think Manchester United, when you're 1-0 up, you can't always take the game as an advantage. You've got to obviously try and, get the second goal to kill the West Ham momentum off, because when you're stuck at 1-0, you're always wary that a West Ham fight back might happen. And you're always worried that you might concede a goal and the game ends up finishing as a draw, or you only get a point out what is basically not a good enough result for Manchester United's terms at this current moment in time. But I think, the chance West Ham had through Emerson when he's, one-on-one with Onana, he had Bowen and another West Ham player in the Manchester United penalty area. And I think, Emerson was stuck in 2 minds what he was going to do. I think he either wanted to shoot, or he was thinking, do I lay this off to one of my teammates in the penalty area, lay them off with an easy tap-in to make it 1-1, or do I go for the goal for myself? But the chance he had before United found that second goal, and then to blaze it over as well, Onana's bar, I mean, bloody hell. Like, you've got an opportunity to get on level terms with Manchester United at Old Trafford and somehow come away with an unlikely point, which, from a West Ham point of view, I honestly couldn't see West Ham causing Manchester United any problems. And that, for me, was West Ham's best chance on goal that whole game long. Like, that Emerson chance, that is basically derailed West Ham today. If they get back on level terms and, they get a point, they're going to come away from Old Trafford feeling a lot more happier than what those Manchester United fans and Manchester United supporters are going to be. But in a chance like that, when you're on one-on-one with the opposition goalkeeper, you have got two options. You go for the goal yourself, or you lay it off to your teammates in the penalty area. And I think Emerson idiotically decided, I'm going to take the opportunity on my own. I'm going to go for goal. If it goes in, great, we're level. But the way he absolutely just skied it over was, bloody hell. I mean, you don't want to miss the goal by that far. He missed the goal by that far. Like, that goal was wide open for him to put the equaliser in. And he's absolutely skied it over to Sainsbury's car park. And you're basically trying to retrieve the ball because it's an absolute shocking miss. And then, what Manchester United typically do, which was a great aspect from that resulting chance of West Ham, is that we got the other end and Garnacho makes it 2-0. And then, the West Ham momentum's died off. The West Ham comeback is basically gone. And you've basically known you've got the 3 points there. But, the goal was a very, very lucky. The second goal was very, very lucky. I think, was the Garnacho shot for the second goal going into the back of the net, or do we think it was going to go wide? Because obviously it did take a bit of a deflection to end up past Lucas Fabianski. And I think for me, the West Ham players knew the game was gone. They knew the result was gone. And they knew that chance at the other end is cost them. Like, that second goal, really, from a West Ham fan point of view, it shouldn't have happened. It really, really shouldn't have happened. And I think if you get the equaliser, I think West Ham would have been the better team in the second half, and they would have found a way of breaking down that Man United team and finding an unlikely potential winner. But, that West Ham chance, like I said, from Emerson, you if you absolutely embarrass yourself and you sky it over when you had a perfect opportunity to, lay it off to one of your teammates, I would feel gutted as a West Ham fan. I would feel gutted as a West Ham supporter knowing you've had that glorious chance to get on level terms and make it 1-1. And then Manchester United have gone up the other end and made it 2-0, knowing the West Ham fight back is gone. But West Ham were not coming back from that. I knew that Manchester United were, going to get the winning points. They were going to get the 3 points today. And I think, what made it even more sweeter was then to see Garnacho score again, because, I really, really rate Garnacho. At times, he can be very, very frustrating. He can be, very, very, selfish with the ball. But I think, he deserved his 2 goals massively today. And I thought, in the second half, the front three for Manchester United was basically deployed of, Rashford, Højlund and Garnacho. And I think Højlund and Garnacho were probably Manchester United's 2 best attacking players going forward for today's game. I don't think Rashford, again, I thought very, very poor the whole 90 minutes. I don't understand how Marcus Rashford played 90 minutes for Manchester United. I thought, again, one good game against Wolves and all of a sudden the same inconsistent Marcus Rashford returns. He simply wasn't his day today. You could tell how frustrated he was getting with some of the chances that he had on that West Ham goal. It was just not Marcus Rashford's day. And I thought, logically, I just thought he wasn't up for today's game. He just didn't look like the player he looked like on Thursday against Wolves. And that was surprising for me because, he did really, really well to, get that goal on his return for obviously what happened off the pitch a few weeks ago before, the Wolves game. And obviously training, he didn't turn up. And I thought today he looked like the same Marcus Rashford. It didn't look like, that goal did him any world of confidence going into today's game. And, I think that West Ham back four had Marcus Rashford covered. Like, I really, really think today Rashford didn't really cause West Ham any major issues. I think, if Rashford would have been a bit more, of a team player, we might have scored a few more goals today. But obviously 3-0 is a fantastic result. We are now above West Ham in the league. We are now, trying to chase down top four. We're only 9. I think we're only now 11 points off Aston Villa, which obviously is, there is still a lot of work to do. There is still a lot of transition for these Manchester United players. And there's a lot more to do going forward to make sure that we are doing the right things at the right time to get the points and the win that we need. And I think today West Ham, they just crumbled in the end. And I don't think West Ham, from a West Ham perspective, I did fear West Ham's lineup. I thought Bowen was going to have a good game, Mohamed Kudus was going to have a good game, James Ward-Prowse I thought was going to be a maestro in that midfield. And I think let's call it for what it is. That West Ham midfield is absolutely pants. Like that West Ham midfield is absolutely shit. Like it's not good enough from a West Ham point of view that you've got Alvarez from Ajax as a permanent signing. You've got James Ward-Prowse, but it is not very good from West Ham. Like they didn't have nothing in that midfield today. Going forward, like I thought Bowen was going to be having an absolute field day, especially the season that Jared Bowen has had. I thought Ward-Prowse would be even more dangerous from his set pieces, his free kicks. And I thought, also Mohamed Kudus was going to be causing, Luke Shaw so many problems on that right wing. But West Ham, they let us play. West Ham let us be the team we wanted to be today. West Ham were not going to cause any major threats. West Ham were just letting Manchester United at them. And in the first half, like when you go 1-0 up, it's a good moment because you've finally found the goal. I don't think Manchester United were great in that first half, by the way. I thought Manchester United were, way off it today. I don't think that first half was very good. I don't know why, the momentum from Thursday, it didn't seem like it carried over for today's game. Manchester United looked very sluggish. I don't think, we looked very good in today's game. I thought the first half, Manchester United are very, very lucky to be going 1-0 up, to be honest with you. I thought Manchester United were dead lucky because I didn't know where the goal was going to come from because I could see the frustrations in that first half. We weren't playing the football that I wanted to see. I don't think, the midfield balance wasn't anywhere near what it's been in the last few games. I think, going forward, we saw, Garnacho getting, well, from my point of view, I thought, the front three in the first half as well, it was getting very, very frustrating with Rashford and Garnacho. And for me, again, when you're relying on a 21-year-old striker to get you the goal, to get the 1-0 lead, it does say quite a lot. It does say a lot about Manchester United in terms of going forward. And I think, fair play to Højlund for getting another goal. Like, a lot of critics have come into Højlund this season that he isn't the striker that Manchester United need. He ain't going to find the goals that this club wants. And I think, Højlund today has sat, again, a lot of people down. I don't think, he's deserved the critics he's got this season. I think some of the criticism has been massively, massively unfair. But today, again, 4 goals in 4 games, you can't take anything away from him from today's performance. I think, he deserved his goal. It was a very, very good goal as well, especially on the right foot, which is obviously his weaker foot. So United have got a very, very clinical striker that is finally finding the back of the net on a consistent basis. But apart from that, really, the Manchester United team was just, it didn't look like a very United team today. It looked very, very sluggish. It looked very, very slow at times. It just didn't look like Manchester United were really up for that first half. And I think maybe the momentum from the Wolves game on Thursday night absolutely killed us today. I'm not 100% sure, but I just didn't think Manchester United were at the races. And there were so many pundits on Sky Sports, they absolutely waxing lyrical over West Ham United first half performance. And I don't know what game you were watching, but West Ham were very good in the first half, apparently, according to some of those Sky Sports pundits. I don't know what game people are watching, but let's be really honest here. West Ham were good in that first half. They were fucking pathetic. Like, that was really, really shit from a West Ham point of view. The biggest threat for me from West Ham today was through the corners, due to the height of their back four and due to the height of their strikers and due to the height of, their wingers. Like, West Ham's biggest strength today was from their set pieces. And I think for me today, Man United had them covered. I think defensively, Manchester United had that job done. West Ham could not get into that Manchester United team today. They didn't know what to do. They honestly, I looked at that West Ham team and I thought to myself, you're either going to come to Old Trafford and sneak a draw or you're going to sneak a lucky 1-0 win. And neither of those things happened. I think, I was right what I said in the preview. I think certain West Ham players have been carrying that team all season. And we all know who they are. It's Paqueta, it's Bowen, and it's Kudus. That West Ham team is being carried by those three players. Without Paqueta in that West Ham midfield, West Ham have got no clue what they're doing. Like, the midfield looks absolutely pants without Paqueta in it. Like, Edson Alvarez, I mean, I don't know how much West Ham paid for him, but he ain't very good. I think James Ward-Prowse is probably by far their best midfield player. And, without Paqueta, there is no midfield balance in that West Ham midfield three. There's absolutely no balance. That West Ham team are lacking clear leadership. There seems to be no role model in that team. The back four is pants. And the attack, well, when you've got no striker, because I don't really think Bowen works as a striker, but he has to be put in that position by David Moyes due to the fact that Mohamed Kudus is a right winger and you've got to deploy him there because you can't play Kudus down the middle. So again, West Ham have got no clinical striker. And then some of the commentating as well is like, why didn't West Ham go and give Danny Ings a go? Because of the lack of firepower that was in that West Ham team the whole game. The reason why Danny Ings doesn't play for West Ham is basically he's crap. Like, they've got no striker in that team. Like, they've got Mikel Antonio. Like, West Ham needed a striker. They haven't bloody got one. They've let Pablo Fornals go to Real Betis on a permanent transfer. Ben Rama has gone to Lyon on a season-long loan with an option to buy in France in Ligue 1. And then you look at the rest of that West Ham team. I mean, Ben Johnson, really? Really, you're playing him against Manchester United in that midfield? That clearly didn't work today. It's the whole West Ham team. It's got nothing that can offer any opposition any type of threat. And Manchester United were absolutely pouncing on them in the second half. Man United were steamrolling them in that second half. That Man United team, they really, really went for it. I think, you're going into the dressing room 1-0 at half time. Yes, the performance might be great, but you've got the goal. You've got the lead. Now we need to build on this. Let's go and find the second goal. If we find the third goal, brilliant. The game's done and the match is over. That is what you call a performance today. The second half was a lot better than that first. I think Ten Hag probably did give him a rocket because 25 minutes in, I was getting very, very frustrated with the lack of chances creating through on goal. I was getting very frustrated with Garnacho on the right wing, which, again, in my view, clearly doesn't work. I think Garnacho on the right, it doesn't work for me. I don't think he offers any major threat on the right. I think for me, he needs to be put back on the left because I think Rashford today, I probably would have dropped him because in that first half, I probably would have brought him off in the second half because he wasn't at the races. He clearly didn't look up for the game today. And that one goal against Wolves, what's that actually done? Has it changed him into a better player? For me, no. I don't think for me he's the right type of player that we need long-term going forward. And I think for me, maybe he was tired. Maybe the hungover from Thursday has really fucked us today. And that's why we didn't really want to go at the races that I thought we'd go at. Like, at least I got the score prediction right. I thought Manchester United would win this game 3-0 today. And I'm quite thankful that that was the outcome in the end. But I think Manchester United, it just didn't look like a team that was really up for it. I think, the fatigue has probably killed us. I think the momentum from Thursday and the hangover from that 97th minute winner by Kobe Mainoo, again, I think has really, really screwed us up today. I don't think Manchester United were really, really, they just didn't look that hungry in the first half, but something happened and something started clicking in the second half because also what I pointed out in the first half, which was a very, very interesting point that I think I need to bring up, is that Kobe Mainoo is obviously an excellent player, obviously going forward with the ball and defensively. I think Kobe Mainoo is a world-class midfielder waiting to happen. But what I did see a lot of, and I'm getting frustrated with both of these players, is they're two of my favourite players at the club. But I think, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, there's a lot of arguing going on between them. I noticed it in one certain bit in the first half where I think Casemiro was annoyed that Bruno Fernandes didn't get the ball forward when Casemiro gave Bruno the ball, and Bruno decided to play it back to Harry Maguire or Lisandro Martinez. And I think Casemiro was, very frustrated that you could see that in his body language, you could see that in reaction. And those two did have words to each other. They did, say, well, what was the point of that movement then? What was the point of that pass where we are trying to get the ball forward and we are going more backwards with the ball than going forward? And again, I think that's an interesting topic, that we seem to be playing the ball a lot more back than forward. And we did this under Louis van Gaal. We did a lot of this football under Louis van Gaal. We kept passing the ball how many times backwards? I mean, I lost count in the end. I couldn't tell you how many times we passed that ball back today. And it was getting really, really frustrating. And you think 25 minutes in, if Manchester United do not find this goal, then this is going into 0-0 at half-time. West Ham players are going to feel like, well, they've won the first half. And they're going to come out in the second half thinking, right, if it's 0-0, let's try and sneak this. Let's try and get a lucky 1-0 win or a 2-0 win. And let's take the points away from Manchester United, where going forward, they're not very good. The midfield balance looked miles off from what it was on Thursday, which shocked me. And then defensively, you are relying on, Martinez to do most of the hard work today. And again, what's been a little bit of a downward spiral today, which has put a little bit of a dampener on it, is that Lisandro Martinez looks like he has gone off with a bad knee injury. Obviously, Soufal went in for to try and win the ball back in the corner flag, and West Ham was shooting to the right in the second half. Soufal tried to keep the ball in play, but obviously Martinez body positioning and body strength has obviously managed to get the ball and obviously managed to keep Soufal from trying to win the West Ham corner. And Soufal is obviously then pushed him over, and then Lisandro Martinez is then got his leg caught between, Soufal's body and his other leg, and the right and the knee, the right, I think it's the right knee, I think it's the right one, has massively twisted in a complete different direction, and you can see all the Man United players running over to him, and then you think to yourself, shit, this is looking like a bad injury. And then obviously, like, he's got up, and obviously, the physios come on to check over Martinez's well-being in the injury that he suffered. But then he comes back on, and then he goes down again, and his head is in his arms, and I think he knows that is a bad injury. And if that's his knee, we're basically defensively we're fucked again, because again, another injury to a centre back that we desperately need. Looks like he's going to be on, on the hospital wing again due to an unlikely injury that Soufal has made Martinez suffer. And I don't know why the referee's not looked into that. I think, Soufal pushing him over has not really helped, and Soufal trapping his leg, Martinez's leg, into him, and then his knee's completely twisted in the opposite direction. I don't know why the referee's not gone over to VAR for that. I don't understand why Soufal's not been booked. And obviously the referee thinks that is accidental. That isn't accidental. That is fucking deliberate in my view. And you've made Man United lose their centre-back again, who's only just come back from injury. And if that knee injury is bad, defensively, we are going to start conceding goals again. Defensively, we're going to be at 6s and 7s. And for me, Lisandro Martinez was probably our best player in that first half by a bloody mile. Was probably our best player. And I think for me, without him in that back four, Man United are going to end up having to go back to Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. And obviously, Lindelof has got minutes today, only just come back from injury. That is why he was on the bench today. But I wouldn't want to go back to that again. I would not want Maguire and Lindelof at centre-back for Manchester United. I wouldn't want that happening, because I don't think that's good enough. And the surprising thing off the team sheet today, like, I didn't expect many changes from Thursday night's victory over Wolves in the previous Premier League fixture. I didn't expect that team to change a lot. I did not expect that team to be changing a lot of the players that started that game against Wolves on Thursday. And I think, the only change which I was really taken back by was Varane was on the bench for Harry Maguire. Like, I couldn't understand. Like, that was my shock. I was like, there is no way we're starting Maguire over Varane, surely. Like, that's the only thing really I don't get from today's game. That's the only thing I don't really get, is why Harry Maguire comes in for Raphael Varane. Because defensively in that second half, Maguire obviously loses Jared Bowen on the speed trap, and Bowen goes past Maguire like Maguire's not even there. And then you think to yourself, this is going to end up in the West Ham goal. So Jared Bowen has exposed Harry Maguire's weaknesses and his lack of defensive ability in that second half. And Bowen's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And then in comes Delot and finally puts a block on before Bowen could shoot. And I think Bowen probably held on to the ball way too long. He should have just got the shot over and done with, because you don't know if that's going to the back of the net. If that goes in, that defensively is on Harry Maguire, because defensively he's just a bloody fridge. So that I don't get from Ten Hag today. That's the only thing I don't get from today's outcome of this match, that Maguire is still getting the game time. I don't think, for me, he really deserves in a Man United shirt, because defensively in that second half, that West Ham front three were having a field day. Harry Maguire can't cope with a quick, pacey player. He can't cope he can't put a challenge into, prevent that attack from happening from the opposition team. I don't know why Maguire's getting game time. And the reason we got given is that the players looked tired from Thursday. Well, no shit, Sherlock. We are having to play like 3 days after Thursday night's game. Like, you can't keep using tiredness as an excuse. You need to be playing your best players, really, because if you go back with Maguire, I guarantee you defensively we're going to start fucking up. And it happened on more than one occasion that Maguire, is getting exposed by the opposition front three. And luckily today that Diego Dalot comes to the rescue and puts the block in from that Jared Bowen shot in our penalty area. Because if that goes in, we've conceded yet another goal. So that would be 3, 5, 7, 8. That would be eight goals in 4 games that Manchester United would have conceded today if Delot does not slide in to block that Jared Bowen shot from ending up in the Old Trafford net past Andre Onana. That goes in, I guarantee you West Ham will find the momentum. They will find the confidence, they'll find the positivity, and they will put Manchester United under pressure after pressure after pressure to find that equaliser. And luckily, that block was the right block to make, because if that goes in, I think Manchester United would fall on the back foot. I think Manchester United today have got really, really lucky to have the 3-0 lead win that they did, because I think Manchester United were better in terms of quality of player. I think in the second half, the midfield looked a lot more balanced than what it did in the first half. I think the attack, again, is still very questionable on the right and on the left wing. I think defensively, losing Lisandro Martinez is a massive, massive blow. I'm hoping that injury is not going to be bad, by the way, because I've already stated what will happen if you lose Martinez. We are going to go back to Maguire and Lindelof. That's my big, big fear. Neither of those two players should be wearing Manchester United shirts anyway. So I'm kind of hoping that injury to Martinez is not severe, because if it is, I think we know what's going to happen. We'll go back to Magaluf at centre-back. Delot, I think, again, in the first half, not very good. Going forward, he's dreadful. Wrong decision-making at the wrong time. Luke Shaw, I don't think was great today. That's, again, Luke Shaw has one decent game for Man United in the first half on a Thursday night game, and then just goes back to being the inconsistent left back that I've always thought he's been. And I think, for me, logically, I don't think that back four's anywhere near strong enough now, especially if he's just lost Martinez to injury. But, we had the right substitution to make and bring on Raphael Varane. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, obviously, Man United had the players available to make the subs. But again, you're going to look at that bench and there's a hell of a lot of players that are not getting any game time. Like Ericsson hasn't kicked a ball in the last 2 games. And Ahmad hasn't kicked a ball for nearly 4 games. So a lot of players are going to be, very frustrated with the team selection. Of course, there's going to be the frustration, there's going to be the anger, there's going to be the disappointment. But United had to go strong for today's game. They had to go strong because they know West Ham are always one of those bogey teams. But I think David Moyes, we are now starting to see the end of his West Ham reign. I think West Ham would be better off getting rid of David Moyes. I think the football you're playing is crap. I don't see any identity in your players. And it does prove to show that Paqueta's your best player by an absolute mile. And without him, that West Ham team doesn't know what to do. And they're all looking around each other for the second goal, as well as the third, thinking, well, why aren't you doing your job? Why aren't you doing your job? It's because David Moyes is trying to, play consistent, attacking, free-flowing football. Every opportunity that, West Ham are trying to create. When you're playing a better opposition, West Ham get found out. These West Ham players are shocking. Like, without Paqueta, that team's dreadful. Like, Bowen was not at the races today. James Ward-Prowse, set pieces, the only decent thing he does was his corners. The free kick he hits it into the Manchester United wall. Like, he's meant to be this David Beckham, midfield maestro for West Ham. He ain't good enough. Edson Alvarez, I mean, look how much money West Ham paid Ajax to bring him in. Nowhere near good enough. And you've got Calvin Phillips on loan for Manchester City for the rest of the season, and you're benching him. Like, that, I don't think David Moyes has got a clue. And I think in the last few results against Bournemouth, Sheffield United, Bristol City, and now Manchester United, that is no winning for West Ham now. So those West Ham players are going to feel really distraught out the way they've played. I think David Moyes is going to be extremely angry the way they played. I don't think those West Ham fans can forgive David Moyes, and I couldn't either. Yeah, I don't think David Moyes is good enough for West Ham. I think David Moyes would be better off in a mid-table championship team, because I think logically, the style of play, there is no identity in that West Ham team. Paqueta, you miss him massively. When Bowen's having an off day, you're playing him down the middle as your striker, as the false nine. Mohamed Kudus was being kept quiet a lot today. But again, we're still creating opportunities for West Ham, but, was doing a lot of the work today to get forward for West Ham. But apart from that, there was no connection in that West Ham team. Like, as soon as the first goal went in, I was like, right, Man United have got to build on it. And that's what we did. And I'm glad we did that. I'm really happy with the performance in the second half, the way we took our 2 goals to win 3-0. I'm obviously glad that Garnacho is now starting to find the back of the net as well. Obviously, at times we all can be frustrated with Garnacho. We think, he's trying to be the next Ronaldo. We all know the potential he's got. We all know the skill and the passion he shows in the Manchester United shirt. And we all know that he's trying to be the best what he can be. And I think today, playing on the right wing, like I said earlier in this reaction, that I don't think playing on the right wing works. I think for me, after today, I think the end of Marcus Rashford is getting ever closer after his performance today. I think Garnacho needs to be deployed back onto the left instead of the right. And I think for me, we need to go back to having a traditional right winger on the right wing, because I think we are really, really struggling to still provide service to Rasmus Højlund. I think we struggled all games to get him the ball, get the ball to him enough. And I think, you're starting to see pieces of Rasmus Højlund magic. And I think, a lot of people, I think, are going to start eating a lot of humble pie when he starts banging in the goals more than one a game. I think he's got the potential to score hat-tricks. I think he's got the potential to score 2 or more goals. I think, Manchester United have got a very good strike here. I think Manchester United have got a player that actually cares. And I think, Manchester United did the right things today at the right time. And I think today was a very, very good win. I'm very satisfied with the second half performance. Obviously, there is still a lot of room for improvement. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on that Man United team. But obviously, I do agree with one of the views and one of the opinions that Alan Smith, came up with on the Sky Sports commentary today. That I think for me, the young three that we need to build this team around is Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, and I think also for me, Rasmus Højlund. You could see on the celebrations when they were sat on the advertising board when the second and the third goal went in. That is what we need to be doing. We need to build a team around those three. That for me is what we need to do at Manchester United. That is the future for this football club. This is what we need to build on for the future. These are our three best players at the moment by an absolute mile, because they are carrying Manchester United. They are our best three young, hungry players that we've got in this team. We should feel blessed that we've got them. We should feel very privileged that they are, showing their consistency in so many games for Man United this season. And I think for me, if you can build a team around these three, this team will go places in the future. This team will win trophies. This team will win the league. It will be competitive in Europe. We can win the FA Cup. We can win the Carabao Cup if we build a team like this around those three. I think that was signs today that things are starting to click. And yes, it's been a really bumpy season. It has been one hell of a season. It's not been the season that all Manchester United fans and supporters have been hoping for. Even I hold my hands up. I got a lot wrong this season. I've been, very frustrated, disappointed, gutted the way we've performed in Europe. The defence of the Carabao Cup went by very quickly. And obviously, we're still in the FA Cup, which obviously is a positive. We've won again in the league today, so that's 4 games without a defeat, which obviously is a lot of progress. We are scoring a lot more goals. We put West Ham away to the sword today. We've shut those West Ham fans up. We shut them all up. The supporters were kept quiet. We blew out their fairy liquid. We blew out their soap and their bubble bath and their shampoo and their conditioner and all their bubble liquid in their bubble machines. We kept West Ham shut out today. And I think we did that very, very well. And that, again, is down to the defence of Lisandro Martinez. I think, for me, he was probably Manchester United's best standout player in that first half, because I don't think a lot of them were really, really, interested in that game today. And I think, he was one of the standouts in the whole defence, because he was putting in challenge after challenge, block after block. And that is what you call a leader. There's leadership in that Argentinian. I absolutely love Lisandro Martinez. I just hope the injury he's got isn't severe, because I think we will really, really miss him if we haven't got him available for the next 2 games. And that's a worry for me, because I think things could go backwards again defensively. And I hope we don't go back to Maguire and Lindelof. Maybe Varane will have to come back in now. Not 110% sure what we'll do, but we're going to have to hope maybe that is just a precaution injury instead of a really bad knee injury. Because if he's twisted his knee and he's done his ligament in it, or he's twisted his kneecap, or he's ripped or torn something in that knee, he is going to be out injured for a long time. And we might not see him again till the end of the season, or maybe start of next season. I don't know what's going to happen with Lisandro, but I think for me, I'm just glad we got the 1-0 lead. We should have really found the second goal in the first half as well to kill the momentum off of the West Ham team. They weren't going to find a goal today. Like, Emerson blew their biggest chance for their equaliser and a potential point. That was blown very, very quickly. And as soon as the second goal went in, those West Ham players were dead on their knees. They gave up. They waved the white flag. They threw the towel in. I don't think David Moyes' team can have too many complaints. Manchester United played into West Ham's hands today. Man United exposed that West Ham team. Absolutely exposed them. How defensively poor they are. Going forward, they've not got no clinical striker. Midfield, we know where their midfield problems are. And when you've got 2 goalkeepers at West Ham that are bang average, you are going to concede a lot of goals. Lucas Fabianski, that for me was probably the downfall in the second half. As soon as, the deflected Garnacho first goal went in, that was the telltale signs of this West Ham team are going to get absolutely torn apart. And that's what happened the whole game. Man United finally started to control the midfield. The midfield looked a bit more balanced in the second half. Defensively, Maguire is still quite liable for a lot of the West Ham attacking problems. Obviously, going forward, Rashford didn't have his day. Rashford did not have the day I thought he was going to have. I thought maybe the goal from Thursday, he would have built on that. But obviously, it did not look like that for me today. It didn't look like Marcus Rashford was the same player he was on Thursday. I don't know why. Maybe, there is problems off the pitch again. 1-3-0. Yeah. So, maybe off the pitch, maybe he has got problems again, and maybe that has been the downfall from Thursday, or maybe just tired, maybe a bit fatigued, but he didn't look like the player on the left that I thought was going to be today. I thought we might see Marcus Rashford find the back of the net again. But I think, the West Ham back four did a job on him. I think they absolutely pocketed Marcus Rashford into their pockets. I think for me, you can see that he tries to take on way too many challenges on their own. He tries and do all these little tricks and flicks and skill moves to try and expose the West Ham back four liabilities. But they pocketed him because they've got superior upper body strength. And as soon as they've got a quick run, quick pacey winger running at them, but they let Marcus Rashford play into their hands. And I think for me, really, what I would have done in the second half to change a few things up, I probably would have deployed Garnacho back onto left. I would have took Rashford off for either Antony or Ahmad, kept Højlund on, kept the midfield free, maybe bring, maybe Martinez off in the second half and bring Varane on to go next to Maguire to prevent that injury. But we didn't know that injury was going to happen. It's very unlikely when an injury gets predicted or an injury happens on the football pitch. But I think, United today have got lucky with the goals they've had. I think United today has still got a lot of room for improvement, I would say. I think there's a lot more room for improvement going forward. I think, defensively, we are going to have our problems. West Ham will cause the opposition problems with their attack. But I think we did keep the players I thought West Ham were going to be a threat with. We kept them very quiet. Bowen, shocking today. Too busy having hanky-panky with Danny Dyer. Mohamed Kudus, wasn't the same player I thought he was in the reverse fixture when West Ham beat us 2-0 at the London Stadium. James Ward-Prowse was probably, for me, West Ham's best player, I think, in my view. I think James Ward-Prowse, if he had better players around him, he would be able to create a lot more chances and a lot more opportunities for his team to score. I think James Ward-Prowse is being made to look like he's not very good because I think that West Ham team exposed it, basically make him look, not the player I think he's going to look like. So I think Ward-Prowse was West Ham's best player because you look at the corners he's taken and his position and his, you look at every aspect of, West Ham. Ward-Prowse is always going to be a threat from corners, from free kicks. And he was creating problems. West Ham did have chances from corners in that first half. And that is, again, due to their height. They've got a very, very, very tall back four. They have got players in that team that will create Manchester United problems from set pieces. And I think, the one set piece chance they had a corner in the first half. And Ward-Prowse obviously puts the ball into the penalty area. And then, obviously, it takes a flick from Jared Bowen in the Man United penalty area. He doesn't know the ball's going to hit him. And it is inches away from Mohamed Kudus tapping it in. If that deflection does not happen from Jared Bowen, the ball would have gone nicely and fell to Mohamed Kudus, who was left unmarked, by the way. If Mohamed Kudus gets that ball, he's got a tap in. He makes it 1-0 to West Ham. Man United are on the back foot. And I think for me, luckily today, that deflection went wide and luckily Manchester United were able to clear it away. And I'm grateful today for the second half performance. I'm more pleased in the second half than what I was in the first. I was very, very frustrated in that first half. I was extremely, extremely frustrated the way we played. It just did not look like the team that I saw on Thursday. For me, it lacked character, it lacked identity, and it lacked a pure Manchester United free-flowing attacking style of play. I thought Man United were going to rip them apart today. I predicted 3-0. I'm happy we've got the result. I'm happy we've got the win. I'm happy we've got the 3 points. And I'm extremely pleased by how we played in that second half. Garnacho caused them problems. Højlund was causing them problems. There was a lot more balance in the midfield between Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes. The back four, yes, Diogo Dalot and Luke Shaw, I still think for me, are the weak players in that back four at left back and right back, respectively. I think, obviously, like I said about Martinez, let's pray that knee injury isn't bad, because if that knee injury is bad, that could become a real, real big problem. I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that is just precaution and they've taken him off just to get that knee looked at. He's probably going to have a scan on it. We'll probably get an update this week on what happens with Lisandro Martinez. And I'm hoping that he will be back in that Man United back four very, very soon. Because I don't want to see Maguire. I don't want to see Lindelof. I want to see Man United's strongest partnership at centre-back in Varane and Martinez on a permanent basis at Manchester United. But we've won the game today. We've won 3-0. We've dominated the second half. We've put West Ham away to the sword. We've kept the fans quiet. We've shut them all up. They can use their bubbles and their bubble machine, their fairy liquid, their bubble bath, their soap, their conditioner, their shampoo. They can get their bubble mixture and blow as much bubbles as they want. But your bubbles have truly and utterly been popped today by Manchester United's pure attacking quality. Garnacho is getting my man of the match for the quality he's shown in the second half of both of his goals. He's a quality player. For me, he's going to be the next Ronaldo. He's got the skill, the passion, and the determination and the quality in him to become the next Cristiano Ronaldo, in my view and in my opinion. He's getting my man of the match today for his second half performance and the way he took both of his goals. He caused that West Ham problems and nightmares in that second half, exposed the West Ham defensive woes in the second half, and the way we got the 3-0 win. So I'm giving it to Garnacho today. He's my man of the match. Garnacho at the double for Manchester United today. So I hope you enjoyed the Premier League final score and this match reaction. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button and the retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. Put the bell on all times as well to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2024 on the channel. For more brand new videos, shorts, live streams, more previews, more match reactions. 2 new games coming this month as well. Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is also coming to the channel. And our next preview for our next Manchester United game will be in the early hours of Friday morning for Manchester United's away game against Unai Emery's Aston Villa, which is obviously going to be a big, big game away from home at Villa Park. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough fixture. Join me for that in the early hours of Friday morning for the Aston Villa versus Manchester United Premier League preview for next Sunday evening's game. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Please keep subscribing to the channel. And bit of an exclusive, the free giveaway is going to be happening this week. We've been given an idea. Massive shout out to Liam Crockett for inspiring me into getting this idea. There will be a free giveaway. And 5 lucky people on the channel, on the community, are going to be getting a prize. We're going to be doing the draw, live hat, put all the names in a hat, and 5 lucky people will be getting a free giveaway this week, and we will be giving it to them exclusively on the channel. So look out for that. We'll probably do that on Wednesday or Thursday. The free giveaway will happen on this channel for reaching that magic number in 1,000 subs. So yeah, look out for that on Thursday or Wednesday for the free giveaway. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You're all legends. You're all legendary. I appreciate every single one of you. You're all kind, caring, and extremely loving people. I appreciate all the support, kindness you all show me on the channel. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening and your weekend. Manchester United 3, West Ham United 0. West Ham's bubble has utterly and truly been popped. See you on the next one.